What's going on, guys? It's Nataly coming at you live, and I went on my social media platforms asking you guys a question. I said, what's your guys' biggest questions about painting? And the number one response I got was, where do I start? If you're anything like me, you were born with a passion for art. It's just engraved in us. You just can't explain it. You know, we're drawn to art ever since we're a kid, right? Most of us were probably drawing in class. You know, that's what I did. I want to speak from my own experience, okay, of what helped me get out of the rut of not feeling inspired, feeling fear, and feeling like I'm not good enough. So tip number one, follow people on Instagram or Pinterest. Start some boards. Follow people intentionally that you are drawn to, and something just happens when you look at their art. You can take some influence, and it's like planting a seed in your heart of feeding that creative imagination and remembering, literally reminding yourself like, oh yeah, I love art. I want to do something like that. Tip number two, make a folder of all the pictures you take that inspire you. So it could be from a recent trip that you took of, you know, the national parks. Most people that like art also like taking photography. So that's what I personally do. I take photos anywhere I go. I take a bunch of reference photos. I edit them and I make a folder for them in my phone. I use Google Photos, and when I'm ready to come back to it. But don't worry, if you don't take photos, there's also free apps that are royalty free that you can use for your artwork, like Pixabay and Pixel, and there's also Shutterstock. There's like tons of apps. You just look up royalty free photos and a bunch of apps I'm sure will pop up, but those are the ones I use. What if you don't know how to paint it? Like you see a photograph that you're inspired by, but you just don't know how to paint it. Now this is where YouTube tutorials come into play. I actually have some on my channel for free that are full-time. I'll put the link in the description for like one of them because I have like a couple. Just go on my channel, they're on there, okay? There's like thousands of YouTube tutorials on how to paint clouds, how to paint sunsets. Like there's like, you know, endless amounts of content on there to keep you busy, to learn how to do things, techniques, and color theory, perspective, and so forth. Tip number four is that sometimes we get inspired, we know what to paint, but we just don't have the energy to set up our art supplies. As you can see in the background, I'm not done with this painting, but I have all the supplies I need on my table. So when I'm ready to paint, all I need to do is squirt some paint, grab my paintbrush, and start going at it. If you have space to have a dedicated art area where you can set up your stuff, it takes out the effort of, oh, I have to set up all my stuff. Like that can be a real big burden. I know it seems like something small, but it's actually real. So we want to concentrate on setting ourselves up for success. And so when we do have that spark of creativity, imagination, and we want to create something, then that won't have to be in our way, and we don't have to be thinking about that in the back of our minds. Tip number five is find out what time of the day that inspires you the most. One of my favorite painters, Akiyama, she wakes up at 3, 4 in the morning to paint. And it's really inspiring for me because that's my end goal, but honestly I haven't got to 3 to 4 in the morning. But that's what she does because she feels the most connected with the world and with her painting at that time. So my challenge for you is try painting, and if you're a morning person, try getting up a little bit earlier. You follow all the other steps. Now it's time to apply it. Find out what time of the day that inspires you. Try different times, experiment. Tip number 6, if your worry is about, you know, I bought this art supplies, but I don't want to waste it on a horrible painting I'm going to create. My tip for you is get canvas board or canvas paper. Because they don't take up that much space if you do, you know, if you're just practicing, and there's no extra pressure because you're not using this fancy supplies, that there's no extra pressure for you to create something amazing. This was actually really good for me because let's just say I bought this one expensive canvas because that's all I could afford at that time. Let's just say I had this one expensive, I never wanted to use it because I didn't want to mess up that canvas. Like I was like, no, I have to wait until like I'm good enough, and I have to wait until, you know, I think of something amazing to paint on it that I know I'm gonna hang up and sell for millions of dollars. We have to be realistic and give ourselves some time to practice and create just without any pressure. We don't want to add extra pressure, especially if it's already hard for us to start painting in the first place. Buy some supplies that you don't really care for that much, like I mentioned, something that's compact, something that's easy to clean up, and so forth. Because when I was first starting off painting, I'd start off on these canvas boards, and honestly, I just paint anything on them because I was like, well, like I didn't have any extra expectation on myself because I knew that I was just practicing. So I really wanted to sympathize with you guys and really encourage you, and also to help you push you a little bit, because I wish that somebody, when I was in the rut for years, that someone came along and was like, no, just, you know, here's some tips, here's some encouragement, you know, you can do this, Nataly. And I wish I had somebody to do that for me. If you guys have any questions on what I talked about today or of your own, please leave them in the comments down below. I am here to assist you and help you through this creative journey. I hope this helped you guys maybe gain a little bit of momentum, learn something, and I hope you guys apply it to your life because that's what's most important. With that being said, guys, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.